Breaking news: Keir Starmer's leadership of the Labour Party is crumbling faster than expected, and the cracks are widening by the day. What seemed like a steady rise to power is now unravelling into a political crisis, with scandals, deception, and broken promises shaking public trust. Could this be the beginning of the end for Labour under Starmer? One of the biggest bombshells centres around Jonathan Reynolds, Starmer's business secretary, who has been exposed for misleading the public about his legal qualifications. For years, Reynolds claimed to be a qualified solicitor, an assertion that gave him credibility in political and legal discussions. However, new evidence proves that he never actually completed his legal training contract, making his claims not just misleading but potentially illegal. Under Section 17 of the Legal Services Act 2007, falsely presenting oneself as a solicitor in the UK is a criminal offence. Reynolds could now face serious legal consequences for fabricating his credentials. What's even more shocking? He made these false claims in the House of Commons back in 2004, an act that has only now been fully exposed. Although the Solicitors Regulation Authority, SRA, previously investigated Reynolds and closed the case, the scandal has resurfaced, prompting a fresh review. Calls for accountability are growing louder, with Conservative MP Andrew Griffith demanding an official inquiry into whether Reynolds deliberately misled the public, a direct violation of the Ministerial Code. Despite the gravity of this scandal, Starmer, who frequently boasts about his own legal background, has chosen to remain silent. Whether he's shielding Reynolds or hoping the issue will disappear, his reluctance to address the controversy is raising even more doubts about his leadership. Labour's integrity crisis: more than just one scandal. The turmoil within Labour doesn't stop with Reynolds. The party is grappling with a string of other controversies, including shadow ministers inflating their qualifications and local councillors facing serious allegations of misconduct. Under Starmer's leadership, the very fabric of Labour's integrity seems to be falling apart. Even more concerning, Labour's economic policies are coming under scrutiny. Starmer and his Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, once assured the British public that they would not raise taxes. But now, their promises are crumbling. With Labour scrambling to save billions, insiders reveal that tax hikes are on the table, including a potential increase in national insurance, which would hit working-class families the hardest. Pensioners, too, could be affected as Labour explores cost-cutting measures that may jeopardise their financial security. Critics argue that Starmer and Reeves are prioritising unions and foreign interests over British pensioners and workers, sparking fears that Labour is abandoning its core principles. Conservative MP Kevin Hollinrake has openly criticised Labour for betraying the very people they claim to represent. Brexit betrayal. Secret EU negotiations raise red flag, adding fuel to the fire. Reports suggest that Starmer has been engaged in secret talks with EU officials, potentially realigning Britain's policies on food and climate regulations. Most controversially, there are whispers that Starmer is considering bringing the UK back under the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice, a move that could be seen as a direct betrayal of Brexit voters. Lord Frost, a key figure in the Brexit negotiations, has publicly condemned Starmer's approach, accusing him of undermining Britain's hard-won sovereignty in favour of Brussels approval. Could Starmer's pro-EU stance spell disaster for Labour in upcoming elections? Labour's popularity plummets, Reform UK surges ahead as these scandals pile up. Labour's support is in freefall. Starmer's approval ratings have taken a severe hit, with some analysts predicting he could end up performing even worse than Liz Truss, whose short-lived tenure as Prime Minister was marked by public outrage. Even more alarming for Labour, Reform UK, once considered a fringe party, is now gaining traction in the polls, overtaking Labour in some areas. The British public is sending a clear message: they are losing faith in Starmer and his party's ability to lead. Free speech and civil liberties under threat. Another deeply troubling issue is Labour's stance on free speech. The recent case of Adam Smith Connor, a military veteran punished for silently praying outside an abortion clinic, has raised alarm bells about growing authoritarianism in the UK. Despite the widespread controversy, Starmer has refused to comment, while Jonathan Reynolds has gone as far as denying that freedom of expression is under attack. Even international figures are weighing in, with American politicians highlighting Britain's alarming crackdown on free speech. Under Labour, ordinary citizens now risk punishment for expressing their opinions, an issue that is quickly becoming a defining feature of Starmer's leadership. Labour's toxic culture exposed in leaked messages. To top it all off, an internal Labour WhatsApp group, disturbingly named Trigger Happy Timbers, has been exposed for sharing offensive and crude remarks, including a particularly vile comment from former Minister Andrew Gwynn about a 72-year-old woman. The fallout has been swift, with multiple suspensions issued, but the damage to Labour's reputation is irreversible. These aren't just isolated incidents. They reflect a growing culture of toxicity and disregard under Starmer's leadership. The future of Labour, can it recover? With scandal after scandal, Labour is facing a full-blown crisis. The public's disillusionment with Starmer is reaching breaking point, and unless he can steer the party back to its core values, integrity, accountability, and dedication to the British people, Labour risks losing the very voters it claims to represent. So, what does the future hold for Labour? Is this the final unravelling of Starmer's leadership? Can Labour recover from these scandals, or is the party headed for political oblivion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this analysis insightful, make sure to subscribe to Britain Now for the latest political updates and breaking news. Together, we can navigate these turbulent times and push for a more transparent, accountable future for the UK. Your voice matters. Let's keep the conversation going.